Riley, let's go ahead and jump in. Only 2 games left here in the LCQ.
2 more games, and we're going to determine who are the last 2 participants in the NA Regional Finals, joining the 22 players we already have qualified. We're hopping on board with Renzer, who's one of the players, or we're hopping on board with Lucky. No, we are hopping on board with Renzer, a little bit of a switcheroo. Took the tier start from Wage Iverson, notably.
Yeah, able to grab the tier. We'll end up seeing if Wage was able to grab one too. I kind of missed the opening carousel if there was only 1 tier. Or if there were more, but big note that Nomsy is a mage. We haven't seen much mage Nomsy today. Even the lobby that it was available, we didn't end up seeing it get played, but that was partially because we saw that random, Sohm 2 just get grabbed out of nowhere as well. So we'll see if Nomsy ends up being played in this one. Executioner's Edge as the Mirage. I know you've mentioned you like this for Yone.
I love this for Yone, and Renzer, a man after my heart. He played the Yone the last game. He got the first with it. I mean, when you have scoped weapons too, I mean, it's pretty much a Yone angle, but this game, no bow start, the early Karma 2. I want to see the Yone. I don't think we're getting it this game.
Yeah, Renzer has shown that they are not afraid to play reroll comps, play a lot of different compositions. Dan mentioned that Renzer's been one of the widest players that we've had over this weekend, and now, here's a setup potentially to play a Karma with an early Karma 2. Obviously, you don't need to commit this early to anything, but the fact is I don't think Renzer's afraid to play anything, right? So if he starts to see a good setup for any which comp, we might see Renzer go for it.
Yeah, he's been tending to favor the AP tree, but he's been showcasing a wide range even within that tree, and he's also been willing to go over towards that Yone last game, towards some of the other comps. So good, very good range from him, demonstrating a good flexibility within the AP tree. Gets dropped double Silas. Just okay, so even more AP units. Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, as an AP player, double Silas is kind of an interesting thing. It can be a bait because it can hurt your economy so much, but if he's able to find an early Silas 3, or sorry, Silas 2, if he's able to find the third Silas is more what I was trying to say, that can be massive for an early board state. It does feel like a bit of a bait though, because, Silas 1 versus the Silas 2, and just the fact that it is 6 gold on your bench can be worrisome.
Yeah, it's going to eat up a lot of your economy, and the Silas 2, yes, it's good frontline early, but it's not this absolutely unkillable monster early with the mage bonus like it was in set 7.0. So we'll see if he opts to hold on to these. It's not hurting his economy right now. It's not like he can make 10 anyway, so it doesn't hurt to hold. But for now, slamming the blue buff on the Karma, playing around the Guardian frontline, has an upgrade Leona already, even on just the level 3, not level 4. This is shaping to be a very strong opener for Renzer.
Yeah, it's a great level 3 board. The Karma should be able to carry very easily with this tanky frontline. Renzer might be able to set up for a win streak, still having the option to play reroll, but there is also plenty of ways that he can go with this start. And Renzer has been great playing flexibly. Yesterday, I kind of called him out for being only able to play from a lead, but he proved us wrong as that day went on. And today he's been doing great from all different situations throughout the game.
He did prove us wrong, and credit to him for adapting between the days. That's something you really like to see, especially in someone who is so new to tournaments. You like to see them making the adaptations, showing that they're a good tournament player, not that just they're a good player. And for Renzer, making those adaptations, he is... I liked his play yesterday, but I don't want to say I was particularly impressed. I am impressed by his play today.
And we're jumping on with Lucky. Consistency is the pickup. I've talked a bit about this augment. Phoenix, who did lose out in day 1, is a player that I've seen pilot this really well, but he also had a pretty poor consistency game yesterday. We've got Lucky playing it with Olaf as the start. We'll see if it ends up being a commitment to Olaf. You want to lose streak in stage 2 anyways, since you are sacrificing your Olaf, so this can be a decent synergy as long as Lucky can find some good combat augments later to support it.
Yeah, and he's trying to lose streak, but he did end up opting for this level. I want to say he poked around the lobby and decided that, hey, it doesn't cost me econ. I can level to 4 here, save a bit of extra HP, but will not cost me my consistency loss streak. That above anything else, you have to preserve that. But maybe the level, getting the scale scored in with getting the Brahmin, saves a couple HP, allows the Olaf to get a couple more attacks, and that's enough to kill a unit. So that work out, not necessarily, but I do like the idea from Lucky, and we can't see them scouting around, but I imagine that's the thought process.
This augment from Sully, pretty interesting.
Dragonmancer Conference.
2-star Kaisa already. Dragonmancer Conference, going to be able to get all those Dragonmancers coming through each round. Going to get one hand delivered to the bench and start going for some very high star level Dragonmancer synergies for the Kaisa.
Apparently, this man got it at 2-1. This man is the wizard of 2-1 Kaisa 2s today.
That's true. Actually, yeah, it was Sully that got
the 2-1
exactly earlier. Yeah, that's crazy.
In game 1.
He naturaled it. We thought it was true 2s, but no, it was a naturaled on at 2-1. Once again, it's 2-1. We got a note from production. That's Sully has just been the absolute Kaisa wizard.
Yeah, and doesn't necessarily have the greatest item set for it now, but he's on a win streak, or just got his win streak snapped. It does not give him carousel priority though, which is crucial. When you're getting those losses, you really want to use those losses to get carousel priority, to get better items, especially if you're trying to play around this carry Kaisa. Off of that, I don't know if he's going to be able to reroll, especially if he can't get this tier for blue buff. Wajan Iverson is going to take it, so I'm curious to see whether he decides to full reroll, which I imagine he will with Dragonmancer Conference, but it's going to be a bit rough from the item perspective for him.
Yeah, items will be tough, but if he can maintain his HP, you can tend to find your items a bit later in the game. The rough thing, of course, is just not having a single Kaisa item to kind of bridge the gap early on. If you had the mana item, then you can kind of get away with it until late game. But yeah, being only on a single rod and having tank items other than that is going to be a tough spot.
He did have a vest on bench, I believe, so we'll see if he opts into making a Sunfire cape. He was able to grab that belt on a 4th Kaisa off carousel, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going full Kaisa reroll for Sully.
All right, over to Soul Reaver. Also having an Olaf in, but this looks more just like playing a strong board in the early game versus the other Olaf player, which would be iLucky, who might be actually playing for that. Because we've got Item Slam's Gunblade already, so can go into Deja, can go into a number of things.
Yeah, the Gunblade is a slam I feel like we've seen a few times today, but it's not something we see super often. Usually when players favor an AD healing item, they're going to favor Bloodthirst or Hand of Justice, just because of the stats it gives and just those being better items that synergize with the AD trees. But we've seen a couple Gunblade AD holders early. I believe we saw another Wukong earlier with Gunblade, and I think it was Bruiser Heart. It might have been from Soul Reaver. And it's been working out. That was a win streak combo too. This Gunblade Wukong doesn't look like it synergizes particularly well at first, but it is an item slam and it is working out.
Yeah, they've got good synergies for now and second win, so really good for finding those early W's. They're offered a Namzi here, but it feels like Soul Reaver is just going to stay away from that for now. Look to Econ all the way up. We got to note that Lucky 1, 2, 3, so they snapped their consistency, which is very, very tough.
Yeah, that's not great, and he did lose 2-5 as well, so it's not like he's going to be able to get a win streak going from there. So yeah, just you've called out some good consistency streaks and some bad consistency streaks. Looks like we got a bad one going. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough augment to play unless you just fully open, but if you don't get the value from it in the early stages, it feels like you are just playing down an augment essentially the entire game, because it's a lot harder to just maintain a super long streak as the game continues on.
Yeah, we'll also note that the Gunblade was able to save 4 HP there from Soul Reaver. It kept the team alive just long enough for Malphite to pick off 2 more units. So, hey, a good item slam that is able to save a bunch of HP. So that's generally what you like to see from those early game item slams, even if they're not optimal.
I actually want to talk about a little bit, as we look at Sag and we see this Shimmer Scale crest, it actually makes it so much worse for someone like Lucky to not be able to continue with that consistency loss streak. When there are 2 Shimmer Scales crests in this lobby, there are 2 other people who are just going to be econing an insane amount more by having that Shimmer. And we see it's Draven's Axe. This is one that gives so much money, and it also gives that item component. It's going to help accelerate these Shimmer players into the late game.
Yeah, that Shimmer Scale Crest, it's it's been something that's gotten called out by a lot of high elo players as, oh hey, you hit 2-1 Shimmer, congrats on your free fast 9. But Sag at 80 HP, he's not super healthy yet, so fast 9 actually might be out of the question already. Spicy Appy's the other player who got the 2-1 Shimmer Scale Crest on 94 HP. He could look at more of the fast 9 instead of the fast 8. So we'll have to check back in later with those players. But for Sag, when he's taking the Shimmer Scale and trying to go for that fast 9, looking a bit rougher for him unless he can start picking up some wins now.
Yeah, I mean, 5-loss streak at 80 HP is not the worst thing ever. Still making good gold.
That's
already
actually
making 50
really
gold.
good.
It's pretty solid.
That is a very good loss streak. Normally the
Looks
5
like
loss
he
streaks.
might snap it here though.
Yeah, and that he's more than okay with that. He really wants to start winning now. He already got the 5 loss. 80 HP is around 10 or so higher than what you usually think of as best case scenario.
Yep.
You think of like 70 HP as, hey, that was a pretty good loss streak. 80 HP, ridiculously healthy, and I think we saw DQA have a pretty similar super healthy loss streak yesterday that turned out very well.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
this will help a lot though with fast 9. He got level up.
yeah, level up is
There
there.
you go.
This is huge. You know, you're gonna be lacking in combat augments for now. Wow, going scope
Wait,
weapons
scope
instead. I thought that was a
weapons?
clear level up angle. Instead, gonna go scope weapons.
Oh,
Find
he's
Yone? Are we just
he's
gonna play
just
Yone?
playing warriors. Okay.
Wow.
Let's go.
Look at that. Executioner,
Okay.
we mentioned that the version of Mirage was very good for Yone with Executioner's Edge.
And you can look to farm some items with Draven's Axe. And get the Rage Blade online. You have some good items for the Olaf. The Bloodthirster can easily go on him later. We're getting some Yone.
Yeah,
Yo.
this is crazy. I mean, just in contrast to Lucky, remember we were calling out that they ended up winning a round, which broke their consistency, and they're 10 HP down to Sag, who was able to hold the loss streak the whole time. And now, you know, we expected this to be a fast 9. We've seen Sag play fast 9. We've seen it before. They've done really well with it all throughout the weekend. So it seemed like an obvious angle when they see that level up, but scoped weapons, we just saw how powerful this was when Renzer won that last game playing Yone, and as soon as that is offered to Sag, he takes it, he rolls down, finds a Yone. Right now, he's still a little bit weak on the Yone 1, but he can start to put this board together and turn this into a big win streak. He's got plenty of HP to do so.
Yeah, he'll slowly get towards the Yone board, and that Yone board with scoped weapons too, this augment, I think Yone's broken already, but that's just because of me playing at 2020. Scoped weapons too makes Yone one of the most broken things in existence right now, so I thought he was just going to go fast 9. No, he's just going to see the scoped weapons and just hard force Yone with no Yones. He found a Yone too. He is set up right now.
Look at what Wasian's got.
Dragon Soul.
Look at what we've got here. We've seen this before. The last time we watched Dragon Soul be played, 2 players had it and they went top 2. So Wasian having an augment that has been pretty crazy in this weekend and just on this patch in general with the Ascended Dragons. Once you get the 6 dragons to be played, Wasian going to be sitting in a great spot, having 90 health, blue buff Kaisa, so he's already got a board that's going to pick up a couple of kills. Even if he starts to lose, he's win streaking right now, but even if he does lose, he's going to be at least getting kills, trying to move towards a fast 9, play some dragons.
Yeah, funnily enough, he was the one. He was one of the 2 players who had the Dragon Soul yesterday, and he was the one who took it over Renzer. Has the Lagoon in as the econ trait to help him get to the fast 9. He takes a loss here that's going to hurt him a little bit, but he is relatively healthy. He has a lot of econ. He's looking to just go for it.
Yeah, jumping on the carousel, let's take stock of kind of what other augments we're seeing, right? Dragon Soul for Wasian, Iverson we mentioned. Woodland Charm for Appies. Going to be an interesting pickup. Other than that, a lot of general stuff. You know, Band of Thieves 2, Celestial Blessing. Blue Battery from Sully means we're going to likely see AP, but we already knew that because that's a crazy pickup for the Kaisa player with the Dragonmancer Conference.
Exactly, and I think that augment in particular is going to be nuts for Sully because he wasn't able to get that tier off first carousel. He's not looking at really a blue buff anytime soon. Congrats, there's your free blue buff for the Kaisa, and now you can just stack triple damage on it.
All right, Wasian going to be playing Nomzi in the mid game with that Dragon Soul.
popping over to iLucky, who is rolling with the Olaf for now, sitting on just the Olaf 1, but a relatively strong board around it, all upgrades except for a Siphon. Notably, the Siphon, we have the ability now to play dragons with Scale Scorn, so he's identifying, it gives Bruiser, it gives some nice Whispers. It looks like strongest board right now, and this isn't the strongest level 7 board, but for 3-5, it might be good enough, especially to just maintain this win streak he's on. And we called him out for not having the best stage 2 consistency. He's really looking at having a better stage 3 consistency. Looks like he's going to take this win over Wajan Iverson, maintain that win streak.
Yeah, I mean, if he can win streak all throughout stage 3, it's going to make up a lot of the econ that he missed out on earlier. Not going to be a perfect consistency game, but at least getting a lot of value out of the augment. That's super important. If we jump over to Appy's fight, getting very close to proccing that Draven's Axe. So Spicy Appy's very close to having a lot of extra gold, get an extra component as well there.
Yeah, well, we'll see maybe what component he gets. For now, iLucky continuing to roll a little bit. He's really trying to find the Olaf 2, really trying to maintain this consistency win streak. Once he hits Olaf 2 and for Scale Scorn, he is pretty much set. He's just looking for Braum and the Diana. So he's rolling. He's not quite finding what he needs. Wonder how strong his rotation is and how deep he feels like he needs to roll. He does run into Soul Weaver, who does not look particularly strong. So look, this should be an easy win for Lucky.
Yeah, this is good for Lucky. Able to keep consistency all throughout to Wolves. Going to be making a lot more money, but did roll down a lot of gold in order to do so. So does lose out on a little bit of econ in that sense, but does gain it back, of course, through having the consistency.
I wonder why he's holding on to those dragons. The two Zippies and the Deja. There's no royalty pivots, right? It's just an Olaf game?
I'm trying to think about the Zippies because Zippy 2 is great for win streaking in stage 4, especially because he's got gloves, so it could be an opportunity to itemize it, but I don't know how he would fit that in. He would also have to get rid of a unit he's wanting to keep in order to move the gloves, so it would be tough. Yeah. I am unsure of how he wants to play that. We jump over to Wajan Iverson. He's got a very prepped board right now, so a lot stronger than you would expect this board to be. However, still trying to push towards those late game dragons, and this board might not be strong enough to just let Wajan continue to level. He's at least going to be able to fast 8, but he might have to roll a bit there.
Yeah, I will also call out, it looks like Sag might be just using Yone with the scoped weapons to fast 9. He slammed the gunblade on that unit, which is nowhere close to... It's a solid item, but it's nowhere close to what really you want on Yone, and I think that actually speaks to some of the options you have with scoped weapons Yone. Renzer last game rerolled it. Sag, you can see on the right side there, he pushed level 7. He's using scoped weapons Yone to fast 9 instead of level up because he thinks that's going to keep him healthier. Here he has the Shimmer scale in. It's going to take a lot of gold to pivot around Yone, and when you have a unit that can get so much work done and get you to fast 9 healthy, he thinks it's less risky than taking level up, even if level up he's going to have more gold to get there. And I really like that.
Yeah, an interesting adaptation, one that I would not have thought about. And Sag has been so good at maintaining HP during this tournament. That's the biggest strength that I have praised him for throughout the weekend, is his ability to just hold on to high health totals as we get to those late game stages of the game. And this is again kind of showcasing that, right? Playing a very different style of fast 9 even when level up was an option.
Yeah, recognizing that maybe level up isn't going to be the best option for him. Recombobulator? I'm down. Well, I don't know what his board looks like. I don't know how good this Recombobulator is actually going to be.
Dragons, actually. He can put in the Itis, recombob it into a 10 cost, and then
he's rearranging his board.
Yeah, you would also get your Nomsy into a 4-cost dragon, but they're not 2-starred, but at least... He's recombobbing this for sure.
He's 100% recombobbing. I'm so down.
It's actually good. It's actually great here.
He got Ao Shin!
Yeah, he found Ao Shin. It's actually so nice. Ends up selling one of the dragons, but he found Ao Shin and he's got items for it. This is a really solid spot. If this can push Wajan up to level 8, level 9.
Oh my god, I love how he played that Recombobulator too. He didn't Recombobulator that many units. He kept around his front line. He kept around the Jax 2 and the Skarner 2 with these items on it. Unfortunately, gets his Aushin Zephyred, but an Aushin on 4-2, that's still going to be so good.
All right, I mean, we'll see if the cast is enough to take it down this board of Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver, not one of the strongest boards in the lobby.
Okay, maybe not. That kind of did nothing.
Nearly enough damage.
Never mind, I lied.
Whatsoever.
Yeah, okay. No damage quite yet, so I might have gotten my hopes up a little bit too much. I get excited by the Aushin, but there's one Aushin found already for Wasian Iverson. He's probably going to be rolling a little bit on level 8 to stabilize and then be able to go 9 from there. Even if he just has 1-star copies of the 6 dragons, we saw Renzer able to stabilize pretty hard on 1-star copies of the weaker dragons. So he just needs to get there. He just needs to get to 6 dragon at all, and in this lobby with no one else contesting him for 6 dragon, it's not like he's a Renzer with a Wasian Iverson in the lobby with a stronger 6 dragons board. Then he should be good to go. It's just all going to be about getting there and preserving the HP to be able to go 9 and play the 6 dragons.
Yeah, and we know Wasian was already very close to being able to just go 8. He had a lot of gold sticking around, so he's very likely to be able to get there. It's just a matter of will his rolls hit the dragons he needs to make that 6 dragon board, and I think it's likely he will, but he's taken a lot of damage. He's down to 37 already.
He's really going for the first 8 style, which we all know him to do. So, you know what, props to him. But for now, we take stock of the rest of the augments. A lot more just generic augments all around. Nothing picked that is super specific towards any comp besides the Recombobulator, which is still a generic augment.
All right, Wasian getting some more ability power, so maybe that Aushin will be less pitiful on the next time it comes around. I couldn't remember what item he had on the bench, but maybe this can actually turn into something nice. A Death Cap, an Archangels. It really just needs something for it. Looks like JG is going to be the option.
Yeah, now that the Aushin has some damage, then yeah, this will do a lot more work. He has the blue buff on it for now, just to get the cast off sooner. I expect that blue buff to go onto the Aurelian Soul. He expects, quote unquote, to find later. That mana item just works so much better on the Aurelian Soul. Get the chain casts off. So we see the setup, we see the idea for Wasian Iverson. We're hopping on board with Soul Reaver, who is getting in a bit of a roll down, looking for the Guild Deja board. Just has to get the items on. We've seen this so many times of we get the units in, we just need to get the items on. He gets them on pretty quickly. Okay, I'll accept this pivot.
Yeah, pretty solid. Doesn't have the items for the entirety of the fight, but for the most of it, gets it on before Deja had any casts at the very least. Didn't miss out on too much damage there. Deja going to be able to cast at the Yone, but Yone is going to be on the Deja now and should be able to take that fight down. Soul Reaver going to take a little bit more damage in the middle of this pivot, but if he can find that Deja 2, he's in a pretty solid spot here with the Guild Deja setup, and there it is. Picking it up. Finds a Shyvana as well. That's going to be an option to go in the direction of just playing dragons.
Yeah, has a Terra as well. Honestly, I would have liked to see the Terra over...
Zippy 2.
Or there's a Zippy 2 as well. I honestly would have liked to see the Terra played over the Malphite and the Sejuani 1 for now. Yes, it's gold that would have been taken up to find the Zippy 2, but he didn't have Zippy pair. He didn't expect to hit the Zippy 2. That passing that Terra feels like a bit of a micro mistake. But for now, he did find the Deja 2, which is the most important upgrade, and Zippy 2 behind it is the second most important upgrade. So yeah, he skipped what I think would have been a good unit for this comp, but he still found his board, even if he is going to lose to iLucky.
Yeah, Lucky able to win this one. The Olaf comp online, not close to an Olaf 3, but Olaf 2 can still get some work done, especially in stage 4, a little bit into stage 5 before he starts to get taken out by some of the bigger boards, those dragons coming through. We move on to the Dragon's Horde. What is everyone going to get? Sully with that Kaisa 3, this big Dragon Mancer board. Rolling down a little bit.
Yeah, really looking for a good third damage item for this Kaisa. Glamorous Gauntlet you could consider. Just depends on what you want to do with the rest of the items. The Zeke's Herald and the Spear of Shojin is okay as your other items. Is going to opt to pass that. Chalice of Clarity an option? Perhaps you could go Archangel with the Chalice and then Zeke's. Also past
I
that
was
as well.
thinking that was kind of nice.
I think he
didn't hate
really
that.
wants to find Giant Slayer, though, I think is...
Yeah. Well, he found it here. And
yeah.
Shroud is great. That's really, really nice. Yeah.
Oh, and the Radiant Shroud in particular is a great item for these AP
mana.
Dragon-filled lobbies because, you get the Radiant Shroud on Alshin. That Alshin is not casting until there are 5 seconds left in the fight. That's ridiculous. Oh, hi.
Okay. Hi, Wasian.
Hello.
We've got to the dragons. They are
We got 'em.
ascended.
It
And
doesn't...
even that Swain right now, not bad as an item carrier for your Terra. Is going to do a pretty good job with those.
Oh, absolutely not. It's just a 6 dragon board. We saw Renzer hard stabilize on this, but is it going to be good enough versus Lucky?
Lucky's got a pretty strong Olaf board. However, this is Ascended Dragons. The damage should be there. I mean, you just see how hard this is hitting. The Bard, though, going to slow down that Ao Shin. Here comes the cast, but will they die too fast?
He's
They will.
dead!
Wei Shin's gone. Wei Shin's gone.
The dragons didn't work.
Out. Oh, no. Did not get enough time. Wei Shin takes an 8th, and that was maybe the one way that Wei Shin is going to be falling out of top 2. Had a 3-point lead going in, but taking an 8th is a really tough position to go into that 6th game. I don't think it counts Wei Shin out, but now it means in game 6, Wei Shin is going to need an incredible performance to get into regionals.
Oh my god, that's the downfall of the 1st or 8th style when, frankly, this game, he didn't need to go for that. He just needed the top 4, and he would put himself in a very good spot to get to regionals. Taking an 8th there, also not hitting an Idis or a Terra, it seems like Swain is an okay frontline with those items as your Dragon frontline, but it's nowhere close to as good as Idis or Terra. So low rolling on the Dragon roll down on level 9, but also just playing a style and a line that I don't even know if he needed to go for.
Yeah, I mean, playing so all in on the Dragon's Soul, going for that, ends up biting Wei Shin Iverson, going down in 8th place here. Sully trying to run it back with those Dragon Mancers, able to win a round. But Wei Shin was in such a good spot to just lock in regionals in this game 5, but instead Wei Shin is going to have to put it all on the line in game 6 to make it there. And let's see who else is going to come close, because that is beautiful from Spicy Appies, having all of those woodland creatures all around. But this is also Future Sight looking for that Zephyr. Here it comes. Soul Reaver ready, holding on to the Zephyr on the bench, puts it in. It's just going to be...
I love this sight.
Yeah, no, that's super nice, and it ended up being a ghost, which is a little tragic because still going to be able to get the Zephyr, but it is nice to see who Soul Reaver's looking at.
Yeah, I love seeing the 3 Idises on Appies' board. It's like, wait, why are there 3 Idises that aren't combined? Oh, one's a Woodland Charm. Okay, that makes sense now. It's the little things sometimes.
Yeah, Soul Reaver is still able to take down the Ghost of Appies, but Appies on a win streak over there with those 3 2-star Idises on the board. Of course, one of them being the Woodland.
Yeah, Sully and Renzer taking losses as well. Them, along with Wei Shin Iverson, are our top 3. If those are our bottom 3 in this game, then we're going to get a crazy game 6.
That would open the door wide open for just about everyone, except for maybe Appies and Trick P, who are our bottom 2. Try and make it into that top 2 position.
Yes. Wow. This crazy set of games all day. Impressive play down, pretty much down the board. That you can say that there's been varying degrees of high roll, low roll, varying degrees of how well everyone is playing, but at different points today, everyone has played well to some extent, and that's really showing, I think, in the parity of what it looks like these scores are going to have, the parity of what the scores have had so far, and even more so if Sully, if Renzer take these bottom 3 scores.
All right, well, let's see who Sully's fight is against. There's the Shroud. Does it hit? It's against Renzer. Shroud going to connect pretty well, but misses the Dragon, and Renzer gets the Zephyr on to the Kaisa. Once she comes down, will she be able to get enough damage out, or has Renzer taken down Sully? Because it's feeling like Renzer's done it. Sully just having this Kaisa get stunned up. It's taken down. Renzer takes out Sully. Sully and Wasian Iverson, top two, are now bottom two of this lobby, opening the door for everybody else.
And you know what? Renzer, yes, he's on 16 HP. Yes, he's now on the 6th lowest HP in the lobby, but I think he has a chance to bring this back all the way to a top 2. He made it to level 9. He's starting to really get those Lagoon stacks going. He's starting to get to the capped out version of the Sohm board, and I think he still has a chance. I don't think just because he's at the bottom right now I don't think that means he's going out in 6th, so that's going to set him up super well if that comes to fruition.
Yeah, and look at where Sag has made it. Hits the Yone 3 on this round just in time, going up against Lucky. Going to be trying to turn this loss around. Got a loss in the last round, but now has the 3-star Yone. Is it enough? The front line's still pretty weak for Sag, but this is a lot of damage, a good amount of healing coming from this, and looks like it is just enough to hold on against Lucky.
Doesn't matter. It's scoped weapons Yone, and you know what? Sag defying all my expectations. I thought he was gonna fast 9 with the scoped weapons too. Nope. He decided to reroll on level 7, which is pretty... With the scoped weapons, it's kind of like 50-50 with Yone. I would rather personally roll on level 6, just my style, but he opted to go for level 7, be able to fit in Shimmer Scale and for Warrior, and saying, hey, I'm going to hit the Yone on level 7 anyway. I'm going to 3-star it. Doesn't matter that I have the decreased odds.
All right, and double Gunblades on the carries, trying to help sustain this front line. Probably not optimal items, but they are getting the job done at the very least for Sag as of right now. See if they can hold on a little bit longer, because Sag is another player. He's in 4th place going into this game. He's in a good position to make top 2, especially with Wasian Iverson and Sully falling out early. If Sag gets a good placement, he could find himself in 1st place after this lobby.
Yeah, Lucky rolling down for the Olaf 3. He found his 8th Olaf. Just a couple more rolls. Is he going to be able to find it? Not quite. He has 6 Dianas. He could opt to sell those and continue to roll. Yeah, I totally agree with that decision. He's not able to find that Olaf 3, so he stops just 1 roll early, takes a second to reposition. I really like that little micro from iLucky, knowing his priorities are still to position, even though he has that 1 roll left. The odds you hit that Olaf are not worth it over just getting the positioning in. Maybe took a slightly better loss because he was able to get that reposition. So Lucky not quite able to find the Olaf 3 yet. Renzer takes another hit. He's at 4 HP.
Yeah, Renzer falling very low. He was top 3 alongside Wasian and Sully, and now we actually get to see Soul Reaver is going to be fighting Renzer with that future sight. So Soul Reaver going to have an idea of where to go. We're going to actually get the vision of it. Watch Renzer Zephyr alongside Soul Reaver Zephyr.
Yeah, I wonder if Renzer is going to take measures to counteract Soul Reaver potentially Zephyring him. Looks like
Soul Reaver got a last second swap.
Did not get the Sohm though. Got the Soraka. That's actually going to be huge.
Yeah, the Jace is the one that was grabbed by Renzer on the front line. Able to stop some of that early damage from this Jace. And it looks like this Sohm might be able to do enough, but the Deja's a little untouched so far. Trying to push through the damage, steps forward, dodges the Zyra. Looks like Soul Reaver is going to take out Renzer. Lucky has gone down, so is Trick P, but Renzer's going to take the biggest hit. Lucky top 4s with that, going down to -1. Trick P in 5th and Renzer in 6th. Our top 3 players go out in the bottom 3 places respectively. Wasian was 1st, he goes out 8th. Sully was 2nd, he goes out 7th. And Renzer was 3rd, he goes out 6th. And that opens the door for Sag, who was in 4th place and is now top 3 in this game.
That just blew this series wide open. Sag looking to now solidify a spot at the top of the leaderboard. He's got Soul Reaver and Spicy Appies
3-star Itis
to fight with, but it is a 3-star. Is a 3-star Itis for Appies, and notably that is getting cloned by Woodland Charm, so you have 2 3-star Itises on your board. Good luck killing that if you're anyone else in this lobby.
His front line is now unstoppable. This should be a first for Appies, and it's a matter of Sag trying to dodge him. He does. Soul Reaver's out. Sag goes
It's a
down
double
as well,
kill.
but he's up by 1 HP over Soul Reaver, and Sag gets a second. This means so much with how close this lobby just became. Appy's gonna get a first, gonna be great for